Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to Women of Pageantry Impact Stories. I'm Amanda Braverman-Brohn, your United States of America's Ms. Dane County. Through these conversations, we document service, build connection across divisions and years, and highlight leadership that continues long after a title holder's reign. Today, I'm honored to be joined by Kendall Kulhanek, United States of America's Miss 2019. Hi, Kendall.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. So you were the first Miss with the United States of America's pageant system. Tell us what that was like.
It was such a learning experience. I had been competing in pageants for most of my life since I turned, 13, I guess, is the youngest that you can compete. And then I went to college, went to Texas A&M, graduated from there in 2018. And I took a break from pageants while I was focusing on college. Before I went to college, I had gotten like 9 first runner-ups in a row in 1 year. So I was like, okay, that's telling me I need to take a break. I need to just focus on my education. And then once I graduated, I was really excited to come back. Came back again, got another first runner-up. And that's whenever Tanis reached out to me and she said, hey, we started this new pageant system. We really want you to come and be a part of it. I had never really competed in any other system before, except when I was like really young. I was like, all right, let's go try it out. I don't really know exactly what they're looking for. You get used to one system and kind of know exactly what kind of girls they're going to go for.
Sure.
So I guess that was my chance to just be like, okay, well, I'm just going to be myself and, see what this is about. And came in, won Miss Texas. And the next thing you know, I was going to Vegas as Miss Texas, and it was crazy. And my mom will tell you, we're at that point where like we were very prepared. We had done pageants for so long, but this time just felt different. I was like, I truly want to come in and just be myself, not try to be anybody else, and just really speak about what I'm passionate about and just see how it goes. And here we are. Now I've got the title behind me and I've been retired ever since.
Do you think you'll come back again?
Retirement.
Oh, it's retirement.
Yes, I get that question all the time. I'll never say never. I still have a place in the industry. I don't know if it's going to be on the competing side again or whether it's going to be helping other girls possibly getting into coaching and just trying to help other girls have the same experience that I did.
Yeah, so many options. So in Vegas, I read you won Best Patriotic Wear.
I did, yes. Everything out of that costume came from my closet. I think the only thing we bought was just maybe like some gems to kind of put on it here and there.
Yeah.
But it was a white cowboy hat. It was a red, white, and blue wild rag that I kind of wore around my neck. And then it was a matching white fringe top and then like these fringe pants and then white cowboy boots. So I just threw it all together. We added some rhinestones to it. And I was like, you know what? This is me. I'm showing up being me. So
you're authentic. And then you won with it.
We won. So that's all that matters.
So you got the call from Tanis. What convinced you to pursue a title with USOA?
Yeah. I mean, I hadn't met Tanis before, so it didn't really take much convincing. I had already had quite a bit of respect for her. I knew that she ran a tight ship. I knew what her morals and values were. And so with her being in the leadership position with that, I was like, I'm happy to jump on board and see what this is about. Obviously, everyone knows the mission statement for USOA, the inspire, empower, and uplift. That just really is what pageantry is all about. So it's very easy to get caught up in yourself, but I know that Tanis takes that very seriously, and she knows that I do too. And so it was a no-brainer to step in and do it. So it didn't really take much convincing.
Yeah. So you talked a little bit about your journey leading up. Tell us how your passion became your platform.
Yeah, that's a good question. So my platform was agriculture education for our youth. If you know anything about me, you know exactly where that comes from. My family has been rice farmers and cattle ranchers for generations since my dad's side of the family came to America. I grew up living that life. That's always been something that I knew was very important to me. And then it just became even more important as I went into college. I wasn't really sure exactly what I wanted to do. And so I met with my counselor, and he was like, listen, your whole life has been revolving around agriculture. Why would you not pursue that in your studies and your future career? And I was like, you're so right. That's really like the only thing in my life that has been such a constant, that I've been so passionate about. And that, if you just see me out talking to random people, we're going to get on the topic of agriculture somehow. I love animals so much. I love the earth. I love just the idea of sustainability. And so I felt like that made sense for me. And so I took that very seriously through my reign as Miss Texas and United States as well. And then after I gave up my crown, I actually ended up going back and getting my postgraduate degree from TCU in ranch management. And it's so true that they say that if you love something, you never feel like you're working. You never feel like it's a struggle, or it doesn't feel like it ever drains you. And that's what agriculture is to me.
Yeah. And I love that it's literally something you did your whole life, and then it just becomes second nature. And like you said, it doesn't feel like work. Absolutely. I really love that. So looking back at your time as a title holder, what impact are you most proud of?
Through my reign, my view on it really changed. I felt like, going into it, I was thinking, well, what can I do for other people? What can I do for other people? And then as I was going out and meeting all these people, I felt like I was the one that was changed in the process. And I'll start crying if I really start.
It's even me, tears in my eyes.
Yeah, I mean, I just met so many amazing people. It's always great to be able to make people smile and be able to meet little kids and have them wear your crown. They love that stuff. But the memories for me were really just getting to see other perspectives of how people are living and other struggles that people have, and really getting a new perspective on me. And it makes my problem seem so small. One of the things that really sticks out to me was when I got invited to go to the Shriners Hospital down in Galveston, Texas. I didn't know what I was getting myself into going down there. And they said, hey, we got you full clearance. We want you to go in and visit all the kids that are in our hospital rooms, and most of it is burn victims. And being on the coast like we are, a lot of them come from Mexico. A lot of them don't speak English. A lot of them are burned so badly that even if they could speak English, they can't speak, they can't move, they can't interact with you in any way. And so at that point, the crown for them, I'm sure that's something that made them very happy. It was very exciting to see them get excited about something. But for me, I just cried for about an hour whenever I left there. It was so humbling, and it just makes you realize that things that you deal with on a daily basis, in the grand scheme of things, they just don't matter. And so my heart was really changed throughout that year, and it just made me a much better person.
Yeah. That's such a mature perspective for somebody who was so young.
Absolutely. I grew up a lot that year, and it's just a year that I'll never forget. So very thankful for it.
Yeah. On the outside, pageantry does look like something that is different from the perspective that we have on the inside. I would share the same, that even just my short time being involved in pageantry, I've grown so much and I've learned so much, and I'm older than you were when you did that. It's still just so valuable, and I really appreciate pageantry for that, the opportunity to learn and grow and become a better person, a wiser person, and to just have these experiences has been really valuable.
Absolutely. That's exactly what it's all about. And, I really try to push that on young girls that are coming into pageantry, and they ask me questions, well, how did you do this? It's one of those things that some people, they get it very easily. And those are the people that I see, just really become successful and do really great things with their title. What's really special is seeing girls kind of grow up in this industry as you mature in your pageant career, and you realize those things, and you really have those moments that really change your life, and you can see it in people. And it's so cool to watch girls grow up and just mature in their career that way. So that's been the most rewarding thing the past 6 years, is watching the girls that come behind me just really get to have that same experience that I did. And then, after they retire, then we get to have those same conversations, and they join me on the other side of that too. So it's very special, that sisterhood.
It sounds like it. You didn't expect to go on and work in that field at the time that you were doing pageantry, but did you expect that your work would continue in the communities and the impact that would continue in your communities?
Absolutely. I think whenever your platform is something that you're truly passionate about, it's not going to stop after that year is over. After my title, I ended up moving to Fort Worth from Southeast Texas and getting my degree in ranch management. And so for me, that's just opened a whole new door for me. I'm living in a different part of Texas. I'm meeting new people all the time. That's the biggest thing, is just having as big of an impact on as many people as you can, learning their perspective, getting them to understand your perspective. That's kind of what life is all about. So yeah, I've been doing the same thing ever since then, just like I always have. I still serve on the Lamb and Goat Committee back home at the Brazoria County Fair. And so that's kind of my way of giving back and being able to teach young kids the same way that I did. I paid for my first 2 years of college from showing animals and scholarships that came from the agriculture industry. And so being able to go and give back, that's just what I love to do. So that's never going to stop. Now is such a great opportunity to be able to teach people about it and help them, gain an appreciation for something that I've been so passionate about my whole life.
What advice would you give to future title holders about using their crown for good and continuing their impact beyond their title?
Yeah, I've said it so many times. I say it to any pageant girls that I talk to, especially whenever I do come back and I'm at the national pageant talking to all the state title holders. It's very easy to get caught up in your platform, your way of life, and thinking, okay, I'm going to go and be a spokesmodel for people that look like me, that think the same way I do, that have the same struggles that I do. And I would challenge everybody to do the exact opposite. Whenever you get to the point where you're representing your state, and then even more whenever you're representing your whole country, maybe you have like a cancer platform and it's, cancer patients that you're advocating for, maybe things like that. But I would really challenge title holders to really break outside of that and look to see how you can represent people that don't look like you, that don't think like you, that don't vote like you, and just really broaden your horizons. Do everything you can to have a different perspective, because that's what it's about. You are a representative for your entire country or your entire state or your entire county or your city. The reality is, the more people that you can be a accurate representation of, the more people that are going to want to support you and want to get behind you, and the more impact that you'll have on people. So that's what I always tell people, whether they're new or whether they've been in pageantry for a long time and they just need that fresh perspective. That's what I always tell girls.
You are an enlightened, wonderful young woman. I'm so impressed. Kendall, thank you for sharing your story and the work you've done in your community. Tell us, if people want to follow you, where can we find you and learn more?
My Instagram is Ray Kulhanek, so it's KraeKulhanek. My Facebook, Kendall Kulhanek. That's pretty much my main forms of social media, but also follow the current title holders. They're the ones that are leading on that legacy. Miss right now, Carla Carforna, she's a Texas girl too. Could not be more proud of the work that she's doing. Me and her, we text and talk quite a bit. And she's just absolutely amazing. She really embodies this title. She does a better job than I ever did. And that's really what I want for these girls coming behind me. And they've all done a wonderful job of it. They're crazy. Like, I look back on my year and I'm like, wow, I didn't do a fraction of what they were doing. But that's what it's about. It's about learning and setting that example so that girls can come behind you and be better than you are. The best way to keep up with the work that we're doing is to follow the current title holders and the ones that are getting ready to be crowned next month. They're the real ones that are keeping the mission going. But I'm very, very thankful that you reached out. This is our first time even getting to talk to each other. So
I know. Yes. I just wanted to hear from the people, hear what difference it made. I want to hear what they're still doing. Our system is so young, and so everybody is still reachable, and that list is only going to get bigger. And I thought, I'm going to do it while it's still short enough that I can accomplish this. And I love to learn from people, and I thought, why not learn from the best? Learn from the people that I want to be. So,
thank you so much.
And thank you to everyone who joined for this episode of Women of Pageantry Impact Stories. In honor of these stories, I encourage you to consider supporting each featured queen's platform or mine, which strives to improve maternal health and prevent stillbirth through awareness of fetal movement. Join us again in 2 weeks for another conversation highlighting impact beyond the crown.